Frank called it. Coach Haith called it. Said, I think we're going to get St. Mary's and Oak City. I'm like, really? All right. St. Mary's and Oak City. We've got good memories in Oak City, don't we, for the Aggies?
Yeah.
Let's just not find ourselves down by 12 with about a minute left. Yeah.
What do you know about St. Mary's? Any initial impressions?
I mean, they're good every year. They're tough. They're tough. They're well coached. They're smart. Got good guard play usually. They've got size. Dangerous team. Like they all are, right? So, someone asked me, anybody that you don't want to play? He's like, yeah, I don't want to play any of them. But that's just the nature of the NCAA tournament. It's always going to be a tough matchup. So, you play well, you give yourself a chance. That's what it comes down to.
Would you rather be going in, obviously, I want to ask this. How do you feel about where the team is going into the tournament off a game that obviously wasn't one of your best?
Yeah.
Do you feel somewhat confident that will fuel them and the way that they'll react a positive way? Or, how do you feel like the mindset of the team?
The good thing is that we're able to practice. Like we had 2 practices yesterday, 1 today. And we haven't been really practice in a while just because we're trying to get through that gauntlet of SEC play. And so the positive, since we did lose on Thursday, that we got to really practice hard, which I think is going to help us. We need to get back to that and being able to practice and clean some things up, which I thought we had some really good practice here.
What does it mean to you to be here in their first year here?
It means a lot. When we set out, I know a lot of people probably, when we didn't have a roster, we're piecing together, a lot of people didn't know, hey, could we get in there? And I thought this group could. I did from the start. I thought we could get in there. McKenzie gets hurt, and we knew we'd have to really play well in SEC league play. But, the SEC's the toughest league in the country, top to bottom. To finish tied for 4th in that league, it would have been a travesty if these guys didn't get the opportunity, because that means they brought it pretty much every night over the course of 18 games. And so it means a lot. I'm really happy for these players here because a lot of them haven't got to experience it, and there's nothing like it.
To that point, the uniqueness of it, having veterans that have been there like Ryland, how important is it to lean on guys like that in a moment like this?
I think it's important because I think you got a decision to make. You can either go to be a part of the show, and part of the circus, or you can go to play good basketball. And I think those that have been there can, really affect others by telling them, look, we're going there. We want to be back here next weekend talking about the Sweet 16. Not that we just had a fun trip, right? The feeling when you play in the NCAA tournament or coaching, it's the same way when I was at Sanford and we did it. We were a 13 seed playing Kansas, but when they tip that ball up, it hits you that you're playing for a national championship. That's what makes NCAA tournament so great. I don't care if it's the 16 seed, the 13 seed like we were, 10, doesn't matter. You're playing for a national championship. And so many seeds have done things and made it deep into the tournament, got to the Final Four, and that's what makes the tournament so great.
How has this roster kind of grown and developed over the course of the year to get themselves to this point?
It's a true definition of a bunch of individuals coming together to form into a team. There's no greater example than that. We had more turnover than every other team in college basketball. We had no returning scholarship players. So we literally, I'd be interested to see those that got in that large bid, if anyone had dealt with that. Go look at the large bids. Most of the teams that were in our situation, they're not in the tournament right now. They may have had some glimpses, but they weren't able to sustain it because they didn't have enough invested in each other when things got tough to keep going. So for this group to make it, they literally had to take guys that never played with each other and become a true team to fight through the adversity you're going to see through the season and play good enough basketball to make it.
Bucky, you said that you expected this, and everybody knows the situation you walked into here, and you were picked 13th or 14th in the SEC. So what did you see and know about this team that nobody else did?
They were older. I saw that. They were good people. You're going to say, I know that sounds like cliche. That sounds like the runner-up trophy a lot of times when people say that. But I've just been a part of this long enough that if there's a baseline level of talent and they're good enough people, they're going to have an opportunity to get through the tough. And I think that's probably what separated our group more than a lot of teams that maybe had a better non-league, maybe had a little more, maybe had a couple more NBA players or something, is that we were able to win close games and then when things didn't go great, we were able to snap back and keep improving. And that's what kind of separated it. You do that with good people that are mature enough with the baseline level of talent.
Was there ever a time when you doubted it?
You know, I'm not going to say that I was doing jumping jacks for joy when McKenzie got hurt. I mean, you know, that was tough. I wasn't concerned I really wasn't concerned when we lost to Oklahoma State as bad as we did early in the season, because I knew where we were. You know, I was upfront about that. But if you go back and you look at some of the tough losses early, or where we were early, and see where we are and where some of the other teams are not, it speaks a lot about our team, right? It's about where you can get to and how you can persevere to get to play for a national championship.
How do you kind of balance the excitement and staying focused at the same time?
I just think that if you have the right mindset with these players and these veterans, they're not 18 years old and 17 years old. This isn't about going to the county fair. Like, they're competitors, and they're great competitors, so they want to do well in it. And, you know, anything can happen in tournament basketball, but nothing's going to happen if you don't play well.
Bucky, talking about adversity, you did mention, you know, your team's going to go through some adversity. You guys that have some downfalls in SEC play, how are you guys going to overcome it, and what do you hope to see the guys do in March?
Yeah, I mean, you got to know that, like, you know, years ago when A&M was down by 12 in Oklahoma City, it was the greatest example of the adversity that you're going to see that they were able to overcome to get past that round and make it to the Sweet 16. You have that through the course of the season. You're dang sure going to have it through the course of a game. We've shown glimpses this season where things weren't great, where we've come back and made great runs. But it's just going to be that steady consistency in this tournament versus a team that is known to be really consistent. I mean, you know, St. Mary's is a very consistent, level-headed team. They've been to the tournament several times. They've made runs. They've had NBA players. So, you know, to give yourself a chance, you can't, you know, mentally let one play affect the next play.
And a lot of people bought into the ideology of Buckyball. I know I bought into it. So can you talk a little bit about what this means for the 12th man and the community here as well?
We wouldn't do it without, you know, the support here. And like when we got here, we had one player on the roster. So you go to meet with the team, there's one player. And then you look at Selection Sunday, and it's the whole community here. That speaks volumes about what this is about here. And this won't be our first NCAA tournament. You know, one day we'll get to a Final Four here. Hopefully it's in two weeks, but if it's not, one day we'll get there. And the most fun times is when everyone had ownership in a program, and everybody had to come together, and a community had to rally together to make it happen. And that's what we've done this season to make this happen, and we got to keep going.
You know, you talk about the honesty you are, about the talent and the roster you have. So when you look at tournament play, you always said this is tournament sport. Do you think your team is built to have its best run at this time of year?
I think that we're a hard matchup for teams after the first game because there's a little prep time, right? When our guards are playing well, we're a very tough matchup. Guards have to play well in March. Like when you look at it, look at who won the SEC this year, the tournament. We had a pretty good guard there, right? You look, when we played well, our guards have played really well. I think we got very capable guards, and some that have been in this moment. And when they're playing well, I think we're capable of playing with anybody in the tournament.
They waited to the last region to announce you guys. What were the nerves like there in those last few seconds?
I mean, I knew we were in, like just watching it and knowing where it all stacked up. So it was just who we're going to play, who would be the 2 seed, where were we going. So I love that we're in Oak City because it's close by and there's a history to it. And then from there, it's just like I said, you know, people can say, well, I wish we'd played this team, or I wish we'd played that team, or I wish this would have been the second round game if we got past the first one. But, I mean, you don't even know who you're going to play in the second round, honestly, in this tournament. You don't know who you're going to play in the third round. You only know you got one game. And there's just been so many deals where it's like, well, hey, if we get by the first one, we're going to play this team. And then if we get by that, we're going to play this team. You know, all these upsets is crazy. It's just your path. So it's a one-game season right now. And it's all about, you know, what we got to do to play our best basketball for St. Mary's.
You go back to the last thing in OKC. Were you watching those games? Did you see the highlights? Do you remember kind of where you were when you learned about what happened in that game?
I was watching it live when it happened. And I texted Mitch Cole, and I actually found the text recently because he had an old phone. And I said, man, that is unbelievable. He said, crazy. And he said, in that game, So we run our press is kind of based on a little bit of this guy that I played for in college, even though we didn't press a lot, the way we line up, and we called it 140s, right, the press. And the press they ran to get back in that game was our 140 press. It's the same position, like it's kind of unique in how it's described. And I just remember Coach Cole sent me back at 140s, baby. You know, because the press got still, and got right back in the game.
What does it mean to be in OKC with the community aspect of a lot of Aggies getting to make the trip up there?
It's great. I mean, we need everybody there. I mean, this is going to be, you know, it is what it is. You don't get many chances to come rally around a group like this, and it's tournament play. There's nothing greater than NCAA Tournament. So, well, we need it flooded. I know St. Mary's will bring some people, but last time I checked, the Aggies got the Aggies, man. We got to show up.
Since you were talking about that game in Oklahoma City, I just wanted to ask about this. Billy Kennedy was out here for this thing tonight. Did you know? And you know, what do you think that says?
I love Coach Kennedy. I mean, he hangs out, comes by the office, and when I first got the job, we talked. I mean, I've known him a long time, and I mean, I know Coach Cole had worked for him, known him for whenever that was, 10 years or whatnot. But you know, I mean, if it wasn't for what Coach Kennedy and them did here, you know, he has affected our team to the positive because we've been able to recruit better because there was a history of doing something and getting to the Sweet 16 and having top 10 teams in the country. And one thing that you got to like about Coach Kennedy, I mean, he could go live wherever he wants. And, you know, he stays right here, you know, part of this community.
If a player hasn't experienced the NCAA tournament before, do you think there's any explaining you can do what it's like, or do they sort of have to figure it out themselves?
The one thing I would say is you can't take 10 minutes, and I said this at the SEC tournament, like someone had asked me, what is it like? Because, hey, it's going to be difficult in the SEC tournament. And you saw that the teams that had a bye in the first game of the SEC tournament really struggled because the team that came the night before, even though they may have been, you know, a little more fatigued, they kind of had that experience to come right in there and play. Well, the NCAA tournament's a level playing field with that. But you can't go into the deal and have a 10-minute, you know, star look in your eye or the game's over. That's what happened to us versus Oklahoma. Now, I can't say that was necessarily the reason. We just didn't play well. We missed a lot of shots in the first 10 minutes. But you just can't have a 10-minute warm-up into this deal. What I would say is, look, court's the same court, free throw line, same free throw line. Find your spots you're supposed to be on defense. Run the lanes you're supposed to run on offense. Do what the heck we do. There's no difference between that court and the one we practice in every day. We can't have a 10-minute warm-up where we're looking around like this is really cool and we start playing when we're down by 20.
Bucky, you talked last week about the SEC tournament, going to it kind of when you were a younger coach. The NCAA tournament, you got any early memories of going to games or maybe watching a crazy game when you were a kid?
I mean, we all watch the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's the greatest show on earth. I mean, it is. It's why is it so great? Because anybody can win in tournament basketball. Anybody can win, and it's your path to make it happen. I mean, that's what you're playing for. I mean, if you think about it, we're 2 really good games away from being back here to talk about 16 teams left. And then from there, you're 2 really good games away from going to the Final Four. And, I mean, that's what makes it so unique, and it's all your path to get there. But, I mean, I don't know if I'd be coaching basketball if it wasn't for the NCAA tournament. I mean, it just everybody can remember the NCAA tournament. What do you remember the most? You probably remember all those runs from the teams that pulled upsets to make something magical happen. So we want to be that team at some point that makes that happen.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all guys.